Oh yeah, Cameron? I can't.
I'm glad you guys are joining us, and hopefully you were able to catch the small hitch it in this message, and it's going to be really good. So joining me, I have 3 of our students, and I'm going to introduce them all to you. First, let's start off with Skyla. Skyla, say hello to everybody and tell us what role that you play in ALC students, and what's your favorite quarantine activity?
Hey, hello. I am on the involvement team at the Sandy campus, and my favorite quarantine activity has been painting rocks or playing board games.
Very nice, very nice. All right, and then we've got Scotty. Scotty, what role do you play in ALC students, and what's your favorite quarantine activity?
I'm on the First Impressions team and the worship team, and I'm also my favorite quarantine activity right now. Oh, there's so many. Do I choose? I'm probably playing piano.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. And then, sorry, go ahead.
Or D&D.
Nice. Never D&D'd before, but I know a lot of people like it. And then we also got Cameron with us. And what role do you play in ALC students, and what's your favorite activity in the quarantine?
Impressions. And I'm currently doing a puzzle, which I just finished, but now I have a 2,000-piece puzzle to do instead of 1,000.
Nice. What's the picture of?
Okay, so I have one of Star Wars, and it has like Kylo and like Luke and Rey, and then a whole bunch of stuff around it. And then the other one is like everybody from Star Wars, and then a whole bunch of ships above.
Nice. I used to do puzzles, but I need to start picking that up again. Those are fun. So my name is Dustin. I am the Sandy student pastor. And right now, my favorite quarantine activity is probably catching up on like all the TV shows that I haven't while I've been working and all that other stuff. So right now, Star Trek Picard. I'm a Star Trek guy. Awesome. So the point of the stream is that every Sunday we are going to recap Sunday morning's message from 10 a.m. and we're going to talk about it, discuss it, ask some questions. And so join us again at 7 p.m. For Sunday Night Live. So it's going to be awesome. So to quickly recap this morning's message, it was Pastor Jeremy that preached this morning, and he talked about when faith is tested. That was the title of his message. He opened up in John 6 to the story of the feeding of the 5,000. And Jesus had this crowd of 5,000 men, and it doesn't tell us how many exact people were there other than 5,000 men. So it's speculated maybe there was women and children there too, so there could have been more than 5,000 there. And this is a story where Jesus feeds them with a little boy's lunch. So Jeremy said that this passage implies that the little boy probably came up to the situation and said, hey, how can I help out in the midst of this need? And he offered his lunch, which was a big lunch, to the kid. And so it was Andrew and Philip's job to find supplies. So I'm sure they were thinking, how do we afford that much food? How are we going to make this happen? And so when the little boy offers his food, they probably were like, that's not enough. I'm not going to do that. But Jesus definitely takes what we have and he works with it. So right now in this season, this weird season of doing everything online, we're all grieving some kind of a loss. Maybe you're missing out on the sports that you were in. Maybe if you're a senior, you're missing out on some of the fun parts of senior year, not being able to see your friends, or maybe you even have a loved one that is sick. Right now, we're all kind of losing out on something. And so Jesus takes this offering from this boy and he feeds everyone because Jesus thrives in our limitations. Jesus does his best work when we turn to him and say, I can't do this anymore on my own. I need you. And so that's when he does some of his best work in and through us. If we keep our eyes focused on Jesus, there's always hope, no matter where we're at. And so I love this quote from Pastor Jeremy. It says, "You don't have to be optimistic, but you should always be hopeful." So this is right now is our time to be hopeful and for us to make the gospel good news to those around us, just like that little boy offering up his lunch. So that leads us into our question time, and I'm going to go around and ask each one of the students a question, and we're going to have a great discussion off of this. So everyone, what in Pastor Jeremy's message this morning stood out to you the most, and why?
What stood out to me the most was that we all have something. If we have something that other people might need, if it's big or small, that we can give it to somebody else and it will make a big difference. Even if it seems small to us, it's a bigger difference to them.
Does anything stand out to you?
Maybe how something like so small can get so big, kind of. Or have like that small little lunch and people.
To me, it kind of seemed like Jeremy was showing how Jesus was praising the mind of the child for being faithful and bringing his lunch forward, and just having that creativity, I guess, of faith.
For sure. I know what stood out to me is, like, I think sometimes I'm most like Andrew and Philip, like something so small, it's like I need to do this big thing, and then something small presents itself, and it's like I just pass it off, and I'm like, no, I need something else. But I know that what stood out to me is that, like, Jesus takes like whatever we have, and he does his will with that. And so sometimes I should not push things off. So have you guys ever been in a challenging situation and you didn't know what to do? You can share or just say yes or whatever.
Well, I have to think of a specific example.
Gotcha. So I know for sure I've been in challenging situations. Sometimes it's just awkward and you don't know what to do, and you're like, I don't know how to continue through this. So as you think about a challenging situation that you might have been through, how do you think our faith can grow stronger during those hard times?
So one of the challenging situations that I would have gone through was definitely when I had to go through chemo, and my faith was like not. I mean, it was there, but not super strong before I started chemo, and in the middle of chemo, the little bit that I had, I was like, why is this happening to me? This isn't like, it's not what it's supposed to be. I've done everything. Like, I'm not bad. I'm not a terrible person. And then but as I kept going through chemo and kept like encountering the same like hardship, I realized that it was only to better me and to make me a stronger person. And I think that it gets stronger because the more that you have to rely on Jesus, you have to keep that balance of relying on it and then not, and so it just like matches. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, very good, very good. Scotty, how might our faith grow stronger in challenging situations?
I think in a challenging situation, when you rely on God to get through that challenging situation, you're going to rely on him more in the next challenging situation, and then more in the next one. And that way, it's a snowball effect, and it'll just keep growing as long as you keep trusting him.
For sure. I know right now the challenging situation for all of us is we are grieving loss of the things that we liked doing in person. And so, Cameron, what are some things that you're missing out on right now that you're grieving the loss of?
Well, my family was going to travel during this time, and I can't do that. And a lot of my friends were going to Mexico for missions, and they don't get to do that. So I feel bad for them mostly because they were going to go help people, and they don't get to do that anymore. And those people that needed help still need help. So,
Scotty?
For me, I've missed quite a bit. I've been swimming competitively for 12 years, and what was supposed to be my last swim meet got canceled. And that was really that was hard for me to deal with. And then Mexico also got canceled, which was very sad for me. It was going to be my last year. And track season is also probably going to get canceled, which is also really sad for me because I'm a competitive person and I enjoy the sports that I do. And so it's not how I expected my senior year to pan out.
For sure. Skyla?
I'm definitely grieving Mexico right now. I was really excited to build on relationships that I made last year going into Mexico. Last year I didn't know anybody, but when I came back, I knew a lot of people and I felt a lot closer to like the community and every ALC and everything about it. And this year I was excited to make new relationships, so that's been hard for me to not. And also, just I'm a really social person, so staying in my house for so long is making me go crazy.
I understand the feel.
Yeah.
And, just touching up on it, and even some of what Cameron says is, we're all feeling the loss of Mexico. I was kind of excited because it was going to be my first time going to Mexico with ALC. But one thing that was cool is that though we're not able to go down there and build the houses ourselves, the houses are getting built. So those people are getting the help, even though we're not able to do that for them. But I know there's a lot of things that we're missing and grieving, and really kind of stinks in this season. But in the midst of those things that we're missing out on, how do you think our experiences with Jesus in our challenges and our grieving, how does Jesus give us hope in that? How are you guys finding hope in the midst of these challenges?
Well, honestly, having the church still helps. It reminds me that he's still there. So that's just what
I agree.
Talks. Being able to talk with our leaders and stuff.
The church goes on. Scotty? Skylar, go.
Sorry. I was just going to say I agree with Cameron in that, like, everything else is canceled and a lot of stuff we don't get to do normally, even, like last week going to school. And so having the, like, connections with Google Hangout and doing this and everything, knowing that, like, the church is still there, I think it helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty, what about you?
Honestly, the same. I'm not sure how to put it any differently.
Yeah, I know. For me, it's a unique season because I'm a people person too. The reason I got into being a student pastor is I love being with students. And so in this challenging time where I'm not able to be with them physically, I definitely think it's a cool thing that we have technology to use at our advantage today to still be in contact with one another. I think that's definitely a thing I'm glad that we have is the ability to Google Hangouts, have these live feeds, and so we still get to have community in the midst of missing out in person. One of the things that Jeremy said, he said, you don't always have to be optimistic, but you should always be hopeful. So if we keep our eyes on Jesus, there's always hope. So if you want this hope and you don't know how to lean into Jesus to get that hope, for all you students that are watching, please direct message us at ALC Students or email us at students@alcpnw.com. and reach out to us, and we would love to talk with you, pray with you, and help meet you where you're at. So definitely take advantage of that resource to be able to DM us and talk with us. So for you students, what does it look like for us to give ourselves to make the gospel good news right now, students? So how do we practically make the gospel good news right now in the midst of the season?
As like a church or like personally?
Like you guys as individual students, like what are some ways for you to make the gospel good news right now?
I think one way is just around your family. Like you're gonna be with them for a while, and you have to be there. So help, like pitching in, and even if like you're not asked to do something, still doing it because it will make a difference in whoever was supposed to do it. And then also if somebody does reach out to you for different things, maybe like babysitting or yard work or something like that, I don't know, but then doing that and just being open-minded about what we can do instead of what we can't do.
Cameron?
Yeah, a lot of what she said. Like help around the house and stuff. Maybe do your chores without being asked, because that's a big one. For me, at least. Probably a lot of you.
Me too, Cameron.
But yeah, just like be open-minded and like think of the good things you get to do instead of the bad, like things you don't get to do instead.
Very nice. Yeah, and hitting on the point that you talked about doing your chores, like on all my feed on Instagram and Facebook, I've been seeing parents post pictures of their students that did their chores without asking. So I know for sure that the parents appreciate that stuff. Scotty, what are some practical ways that we can make the gospel good news right now?
Maybe you could send out letters to people. Honestly, you know they're going to be home, so
yeah. Reaching out is a fantastic way to talk to people, and so any last comments from you guys? Any last things, ideas about making the gospel good news? So I'm going to end with this quote that Pastor Jeremy read this morning from Jamie Tworkowski. I think I messed that up, but give me grace. So Jeremy shared this message, and I want it to encourage all of you guys that are watching. Conversations will not be canceled. Relationships will not be canceled. Love will not be canceled. Songs will not be canceled. Reading will not be canceled. Self-care will not be canceled. Hope will not be canceled. May we lean into the good stuff that remains. And I hope you know that with Jesus, hope will always remain. Thank you, students and everybody that joined us tonight. We can't wait to see you on Wednesday night on our Google Hangouts. So definitely, if you don't have a life group and you want to reach out, message us, and we will get you connected with a life group on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And then continue to join us. Watch the message online on Sundays at 10 a.m. at live.alcpnw.com. And then join us back in the evening on Sundays at 7 o'clock to watch this live feed with our students. So I hope that you enjoy this. Thank you, Cameron, Scotty, and Skyla for joining us. I appreciate you guys' honesty and just helping create this community with everybody online. So definitely, I will see you guys soon. Have a great rest of the evening.
Bye, Dustin.
All right.